Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. I'm very happy to be here today to share with you an embroidery journal that I have just created. It took me about 2.5 weeks to create it, and with it I have not yet inserted my tags, but I will, and I'm just going to get them out of the way so we can start filming. There, maybe I can just take them to the side this way. Lots of things and stuff here, and let's have a look. I had this beautiful jewelry box. It was probably a bracelet box at one time. I loved that it was Kraft and black damask. The bottom of the box was just Kraft. I decided to create, it's a 3 signature journal. I've hinged it all together with Scrappy, Kraft paper hinges, and coffee dyed fabric. And I have also made this journal wrap to go with it. So I will start by showing you the journal. We'll add the cards and then the journal wrap. I have used, for the first time in many, many years, a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. It's a big brush pen, meaning it is like a paintbrush. This is walnut brown Indian ink. It's waterproof, and instead of inking to get sponge bits all over my bed, because that's where I craft nowadays, I just am able to draw a little line as I create it. This one here, I added the pen after the fact, and this is a broad nib pen. I found that it stands out better when it's outlined. Okay, so the hinges are made with, here's just a sample hinge that I haven't started yet. This is the paper hinge, and this wasn't strong enough to attach to the journal. So I attached a piece of coffee dyed cotton and did the sewing on top. And then I attached the hinges at the very end. So this is the cover. Inside, coffee dyed cotton fabric. And we have, it's Kraft Resist paper from Tim Holtz. I've made a pocket that we will insert our first journaling card in. And I printed some digitals, images, the Polaroids from Sam Poole. And I love my layered scrappy bits. I wish I was able to call my YouTube channel or change my name to Kathleen's Scrappy Journals rather than my name, because I just love scrappy journals. I think if I changed my name now, I'd lose all my followers, so I'm not going to do that. So this is the journaling card. And my journaling cards, I have 4 of them, and they're made with a vintage book. You can see how it's beautifully caramelized. The Sam Poole digital, my snippets with Sue Spargo thread. The variegations are only about 1.5 inches, so that's why you see the different colors really quickly. And inside is probably the chapter 1 embroidery digital. And this was a Kraft glossine bag, which I had torn into the 4 journaling cards. So that's the back of it. And it gets tucked in the first pocket on the first page. So it gets tucked in here. And I hand-stitched all of these. I hand-stitched along the top with that white damask fabric, the cotton hinges, and the pearl cotton embroidery floss for the stitching. Love the red embroidery floss. We turn the page, and here I've created a pocket for one of the tags. So the tags, I like to layer my old book page sandwiched in between a layer of Kraft paper, digital, all the way around. I have some of that damask fabric that I have stuck in between. I have 2 layers for my hole, a layer of Kraft and music paper reinforcer, and I fed the fabric through, and there's a line, a cross stitch, and a line. All the tags are made like that, so I'm going to tuck that in here. And I, again, inked all the edges with this India ink pen, this artist pen. And so we have little bits of the fabric sticking up. Next, I really like, that's better, I like these pieces of Kraft paper. I have accordion folded and then stitched along the edges and outlined with the India ink. All the pages are outlined. And I've attached this Kraft page as a little with a hinge with Kraft packing tape. This is some more of that Tim Holtz Kraft Resist paper. This one just happened to have a circle punched out of it in my storage bag, so I just used it. Hand stitching with embroidery, part of a heavy watercolor paper that I tore out of a coil artist book. Part of the Chapter 1 printables. This is the Kraft packing tape. Very thick paper that has been coffee dyed. Beautiful snippet. Hand stitched, layered with the black and white postage fabric, the black and white damask, and the black and white polka dots. Red embroidery floss stitched through, and then I glued it onto the page. I used paper hinges on some of the pages. Single pages from a coil notebook. Sketch paper. Kraft paper hinges. The beautiful tipped in Kraft paper. I just love these pages that are folded on the skew and then stitched. I like the way that they're edged as well. And that again is tipped in with the Kraft packing tape. Tim Holtz Kraft Resist. This one just happened to have a butterfly cut out. I left it. Stitched it onto the page. Kraft packing tape. Paper hinges. Embroidery digital. Hinged with paper. Sketching paper, ripped out of the coil pad, adding some of the embroidery printable for decoration over top of the Kraft packing tape hinge. Embroidery printable attached with a Kraft tape hinge onto another printable. Taped onto a beautiful piece. This is very heavy, durable paper. It comes from a, I'm going to say a military pad of, you'll be able to draw or write your notes in the rain, and in this pad of paper. So it's quite thick. It was easy for me. I like it because it has the X's or the squares for my cross stitching. So there are 3 signatures and 3 cross stitching flowers that I have embroidered in this journal. Hinged with packing tape. Here's another pocket that I folded over with the Tim Holtz Kraft Resist. So I made a bottom pocket, and let's put this, this tag, starting off with Kraft paper, sandwiched in between the book page, vintage book page, collaged with printables, 2 layers of my topper, Kraft paper music, and the fabric that is stitched on with a line across and a line. And that just gets tucked inside here. And yes, it might stick out all the way, but that's fine because I had stitched here along the edge. It was hand stitching. I wasn't at my sewing machine. I was sitting again. I sit in bed now in Kraft. I have back issues, so that's what I do. And this is, I've folded down the fabric over the top of the page, sewn it. This just happens to be where the hinges, the fabric, and the Kraft Scrappy hinges go. So Scrappy hinges, Scrappy tags, Scrappy journaling cards, and this is a Scrappy journaling cards layered with old book page, digital, part of that glossine bag, Kraft glossine bag, digital, hand stitching. And I'm going to turn it around so I can tuck it in my pocket this way. And continuing. The signatures are created with that Tim Holtz Kraft Resist cardstock. So this is the second signature. And again, we have a pocket. So let's put this one in here. Similar, like the other one that I have made. Same ingredients. Glossine bag, printables, hand stitching, and a different picture. Love these pockets. Oh, I didn't see if this one would fit in. Oh, where's our small ones? Oh, just a moment. Our small ones. Okay, this is the small one. So this is going for the bigger one. This is a small one. So I'm going to put that one over there. I say small because of the height. Oh, it's not that much smaller. We'll have a look. So this one I know will fit in here. One of these. Oh, you know what? My paper that I stuck in here might be bigger. Maybe that's the reason why. Okay, this is the other one. I'm going to stick this smaller one in here. We'll add that other one at the back of the signature in a moment. Love the many, many layers. Fabric wrapped around the bottom of the page and glued. We have a top pocket. And we are going to use this one as our tag for our top pocket. Very similar ingredients again when I make my tags. Tuck it in there. And if we use the same, if I have a bundle of fabrics, I usually have 3 fabrics, 3 different laces, and it'll make your journal flow. Kraft page again, and they're different sizes in each of the 3 signatures. I have a small, a medium, and a large size of these Kraft pages with the folded edges and the embroidery stitches. Again, attached with the Kraft packing tape. Love the Resist squares, and this is on the cover, so there was a small image, and I used that. And there was 2 of them, so I did back to back for the tab, and attached some Kraft packing tape, paper hinge from the printable, coffee dyed paper, another fabric snippet with the 3 layers. Love that. And the cross stitching and the hand stitching. Paper hinges, sketchbook paper. There's lots and lots of pages. I'm going to have to do the counting because there are a lot of pages in here. That tipped in Kraft page. I can't get enough of this paper. I just absolutely love it. Sitting in bed, I made a whole bunch of these pages, but I use the white. I'll be putting some of these in my Edith Holden journals when I start them up again. And watercolor paper, paper hinges, the digital, long, narrow. I have my ruler to give you a measurement of them. It's approximately 3 inches by 8.5, or just about 9 inches. So that's the size of the journal. And you'll see how small it fits in my hand. Paper hinges, sketch paper. Paper hinges that I used are the embroidery papers from chapter 1. More digitals. Love this Kraft packing tape. And I really like how that Pitt artist pen, I'm lucky it still has, well, it must be sealed really good because I haven't done mixed media now for maybe about 10 years. I've put my supplies down. Beautiful. I love these, the torn packing tape attaching. This is the second. Beautiful. And I made these cross-stitching designs up myself. And there are 3 different flowers. God only knows what kind. Just pretty flowers. Maybe they're tulips. It's hard to say. And, oh, here's a top-loading pocket. So we'll use this tag. Love that printable. And how the pages are scrunched and glued down, and the pockets are folded down and embroidered. Fabric wrapped around the bottom of the page. Tuck this in. Turn it over, and we have another pocket where we could, let's see if this one fits. If not, I have to cut my, oh, good. I don't have to cut that because there's a tag. Sorry, what did I call it? It's not a tag. It's a journaling card, but it's two pieces. It's this piece, very fragile, and it's the digital. So I put two together so you have more room for writing. And I say writing, but there's no reason why you couldn't embroider on the paper. Tuck that in the pocket. This is the third and final signature. Kraft Resist. Love that hinge system. Double page of the ledger paper, and it's stitched onto the page. This is really cool. I'm trying to use up the supplies that I have. This is an old pattern, an old embroidery pattern envelope. It's the embroidery pattern envelope. And there are some of the patterns that came in this envelope. So I hinged it on with the Kraft packing tape. And there are, so there's one design. And that one design says China, so fine China. The second one, what does it say? Silver. Silverware. The third one is, it says glass, for glasses. The fourth one, it says hot pot. I've attached, or should I say I have sewn these embroidery patterns onto the pattern cover, and then I hinged it on. So that's the little booklet with the pattern pieces. A nice large Kraft Scrappy page. So I love my Scrappy pages. Can't get enough of them. I think they're gorgeous. Scrappy pages. Torn Scrappy hinge. Watercolor paper, it's firmer. And a cross-stitch pattern that is from the Chapter 1 printable. Coffee dyed paper. And you'll notice when I put a snippet in, it's that heavy coffee dyed paper that's blank that has the snippet. Then where's another snippet? Because each signature has one. See, same coffee dyed paper with a snippet, coffee dyed paper with a snippet, and coffee dyed paper with a snippet. So sorry, there must be a mailman or a person walking on the street. Mila's just barking up a storm sitting on the dining table. Yes, the German Shepherd sits on my beautiful wooden dining table. Oh well. Paper hinge. Sketching paper. Again, these lovely scrappy Kraft pages. Just love them. Scrappy hinge. Heavy watercolor paper, printable, and a different pattern for cross-stitching on the inside. Love that, and it's a printable. Beautiful printable, hinging the two pages together. Printable, and it's hinged with that Kraft packing tape. Printable, attached with Kraft, and this is the final. Okay, why do we have, oh. Okay, this page is a flip out. You might miss it if you don't know it's there, this back page. So this is the last of the hand cross-stitched flowers that I have created. Okay, well, if it sits funny, it sits funny. I'm not sure. I have to see this. I don't want it to come apart. It seems like it wants to raise here. What do I have? Do I have some more do it now, I'm going to forget about it. So this is my Kraft packing tape. That's just tear a piece. And do I want to move that? So I'm just wondering why it's... Can I put this down here? Let's do that. Maybe it just needed a third hinge. Okay, that will work. And little flap. And that's the actual flap from this. It fell off, it tore off as I was placing it in the book. So I thought, I'm not throwing that baby out. I'm going to stick it, glue it down in my book. And the back of the journal, the back page. It's, again, the Kraft box. And I took this to the machine because I wanted to make sure that it stayed on here. It's too hard for me to pierce through a cardboard box. So I've added all the tabs. Now, where is my journal cover? Okay, so I made a wrap. And love this style of journal wrap. Love this. This journal wrap idea I got from Sigita's Patreon site. She, of course, makes it differently. I made it differently. But the idea of a wrap, and tying it around, I got from Sigita. So here we are. And it sits inside. So this is the journal wrap. This is an actual, what do you call these things? Dresser runners that was embroidered. I don't know if this was one of mine from years ago or whether I got it from the antique store. Don't know. But I had this length, and it's like that on both sides because it spreads out. It's the actual length folded in half. And then I wanted it to keep it closed. I just did a running stitch in that Sue Spargo variegated thread, and you can see how the color variations are really short, which I like about her threads. And then I layered my these are the 3 fabrics that I've used in the journal, and I just layered it on. I actually had a glue stick, laid it on there, and just laid it on the glue stick onto the linen, placed my cotton, and these are newer cotton fabrics, on top, 3 different colors, all black and white, different patterns, and then I hand stitched, just a running stitch, a simple running stitch around the outside of all the rectangles. So when you place it inside, it's going to sit like this. And I just love that. Look at this. Just look at that. I just love that. There's lots and lots and lots of pages. Oh, here, since I have it opened. Approximately 3 inches by, say, 8.5. It's not quite 9 inches. And you place this beautiful, look at this, I just love it. I think it's so pretty. And then you place this little bit on top, and this wrap, it's a torn vintage linen, and it just gets wrapped. Well, it doesn't matter where you stick this thing. We're just gonna tuck this end just underneath, and there we have it. It can just rest on my bookshelf like this, maybe several of them lined up this way, lined up, and that's my journal. I have a thing for scissors. Thank you so much, Lisa. Beautiful, beautiful scissors. She packed me for Christmas. Off I go to create something new. This is already in my Etsy shop. When you are viewing this video, if you don't see it, someone purchased it. Thank you everyone for watching. And I wish everyone a healthy and happy new year. Bye for now.